What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Showdown Breakdown. Where my turds at? Where we're going to take a look at the Monday Night Football matchup between the Bengals and the Cowboys. Right off the bat, I hope everybody had a great Sunday of football. Sunday night wasn't great, but Sunday, I hope we all had a great Sunday of football. There's a lot of great plays. I mean, we had pretty much... I don't know how to tell anybody more to play those chalky running backs. We had the smash games, the nut running backs with Charbonnet and Garendo. That was awesome. I had a little bit of Darnold, but I had a lot of Josh Allen this weekend, and Josh Allen was the man. Chuxenhausen, I don't even know what you're saying here, but there's always something funny at the beginning of every one of these breakdowns. So hopefully everybody had a good weekend. A lot of lineups we built on the Players Club actually hit the 10x and even the 50x, and the 100x. So I saw a lot of you guys in that $27 1,000 to first contest that I love. I saw more $1,000 bills than I've ever seen posted, and my channel in the DFS Army Discord was like a flood of win screenshots. It was awesome, and we are going to keep it going tonight. That's right. I am rolling solo here. Another solo geek breakdown. So suffer with me as we do this. But this is a fun game. This is an exciting game. We got studs. One of the cool things about tonight's game is just how bad the Bengals defense has been. As a matter of fact, a broken Dallas team. There it is. Hell yeah, Airborne. A broken Dallas team is still getting a massive points total in this game. It's a 50-point total setup. This is going to be a fantasy points bonanza. 50-point total. Big time scoring ahead for us. Dallas plays okay defense. Really, the Bengals don't play any defense at all. They've been a great offense, too. So we know how to attack this game. And actually, Dallas has not been that completely terrible behind Cooper Rush. So plenty to look at. Let's take a look at the matchups tool here where we can see the usage for all the different players and the most recent usage for these teams. So let's jump right into it. We're going to take a look at this Dallas game. I should have loaded that up. There we go. And we'll take a look at the Dallas side of this one. Cooper Rush. All right, so in the past couple weeks, Rico Dowdle has absolutely emerged as sort of the lead back for the Cowboys. As a matter of fact, really, Zeke Elliott stopped getting any kind of carries at all. Last week, really just 3% of the carries, couple snaps, pass blocking action. And then Hunter Luepke comes in for a couple of actually, if we really see what's going on here, it seems like Hunter Luepke is that sort of, let's call him the third down scat back on the team, getting 42% of the snaps last week, with Zeke Elliott just 11%. So Zeke Elliott really coming in as just like the breather guy, the worst of them. And then it's been all Rico Dowdle getting a couple passes as well. So in the running game for Dallas, it's Rico Dowdle all day. Dowdle's priced up on this slate. Kind of fucked up. At tight end, I believe that we will get Ferguson back for this one, which kind of just complicates everything. We've had some good weeks out of Schoonmaker now. So I think what will happen is it'll be Ferguson back to the lead role. Scooney will be sort of the secondary, and Spanford will be relegated to nothingness. So we'll pay attention to Jake Ferguson. He should step into the Schoonmaker role. Scooney was getting 15% of targets. So I think Ferguson will be a very relevant piece for us this week. The other big phenomenon here is the sort of, not the return, but, you know, the second week back for Brandon Cooks. I think it's important development for the Cowboys offense. Brandon Cooks will increase his workload. As a matter of fact, he got more targets than anybody last week on only a 40% snap count. So I'm looking for Brandon Cooks to be heavily involved here. Back a week off of that injury and just healing up, right? He's healing up. CeeDee Lamb doing his thing. He's CeeDee Lamb, whatever. And then Tolbert still getting looks every single week. Looks like Kevontae Turpin, Kevontae Turpin's basically a big play guy. He's a classic showdown turd. He's just a turd we have to keep on our minds here. And then if we look at the last couple weeks, you got Jonathan Mingo and Jalen Brooks also getting snaps. So turds galore for this Cowboys offense that are all getting snaps. And that is concerning, right? Because who the hell do you go with here? Turpin, targets last week. Mingo, couple targets last week. Brooks, targets. Yeah, and Spanford touchdown probably is incoming since I called him irrelevant. Am I betting on Ferguson plus Gesicki 40 plus? Is that a parlay? I'd need to check our prop tool to see how I felt about that. Okay. Shifting gears to the Bengals. Let's take a look at the usage for the Bengals here. And this is one of my favorite things that I've almost ever seen. Chase Brown, an 80% snap share last week, with Khalil Herbert just working in for some 10% sort of rest situation. Now, Khalil Herbert is now here for another week, and he's learning the offense, and I expect his participation will increase week to week. But we're effectively still getting a backfield that is almost all and just Chase Brown. Chase Brown should smash here as a favorite. Just everything stands out about Chase Brown. But he's also priced up in the same price point as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and those are wide receivers who can quickly pass a running back if a game goes a certain way. So we got to keep in mind all of it. Now, with the Bengals, they have the three-headed monster going on at tight end. Gesicki, Hudson, and Drew Sample all getting lots of snaps. To me, Drew Sample is probably the worst of them. He's really just a blocking tight end, rarely gets a target. And then Hudson and Gesicki is really like the pass catcher. But last week, Hudson got just as many targets as Gesicki, or one fewer. So these guys were all very much involved last week. And, we kind of have to expect that they'll keep doing that. Wide receivers really interesting. We got Chase and Higgins now back, each getting 90% of the snaps. You never know when a game is going to lean Chase or Higgins, right? Sometimes, more often than not, it's going to lead Chase. But every once in a while, it's just like a Higgins game. And then, of course, you've got Yoshivas as the wild card, the slot man. It does look like Purton and Isaiah Williams barely will see the field. So unlike the Bengals offense, unlike the Cowboys offense, which is mixing in turds like crazy, the Bengals offense is really just these three. But what they do with the mix are the tight ends. John likes Hudson. Hudson does get targets. I mean, it is noteworthy that Hudson only 20% of the snaps and got a 10% target count. That means when he's in the game, they're throwing it to him. So he is a designed targets kind of a guy. Mike Gesicki seems to do better in games when T. Higgins is out. But I think that's just narrative. It's just narrative. Doesn't mean that much. Yeah. And of course, the predictions. Mingo touchdown. Hudson touchdown. You never know. Brandon Cooks touchdown. Who knows? What I do think will happen here is I think we're going to get a close game, a high-scoring game. Both of these, and I don't know if it'll be close, but I think we'll get a high-scoring game. Bengals offense has looked spectacular this season. Their defense is terrible, and all of that tends to lead to potentially good games. Let's get into the ownerships, and we'll talk about the positions. I'm going to take a look at the captain spot, and I'm going to sort the domination station here by ownership so we can get an idea. The other thing, you know what? We'll take a look at before that. Did I open up the? Oh, no. All right. So we can take a look. I like to compare the prop projections to the DFS Army projections to see kind of what's what, right? And looks like Chase Brown, far and away, the strongest play, the highest raw projection, even higher than Jamar Chase, even higher than Joe Burrow is Chase Brown. So Chase Brown brings the highest raw projection on this slate. Then, of course, it's Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb, Rico, and so on and so forth. So when we sort by projected ownership on the captain position, it looks like Chase Brown will be the chalkiest, followed by, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, little Joe Burrow, CeeDee Lamb next, Rico. And then after Rico Dowdle, everything drops dramatically. So let's look at the cheaper. Yeah. Yes. High scoring, meaning they play really bad defense. Yes. Bengals defense is terrible. So with that being said, yeah, the sub 5% owned captains, nothing looks great. Jake Ferguson, Tolbert, the kicker for Dallas, the kicker for the Bengals, maybe some Brandon Cook. So I think who could be live in this group, guys? So if you're looking, I would say even from Cooper Rush on down, none of these options seems very attractive to me as a captain. Cooper Rush, no. Ferguson, I'm just not into that. I guess the price is good. I mean, they're all priced well, so I guess that's why they would be interesting. And one other interesting thing on the slate is the way that the studs are priced. You have to play turds. Take a look. So I'm going to go off of the captain spot into the flex because this is the first thing I kind of observed when I was looking over the slate. There's a higher number of these expensive players than we normally have. Chase, Lamb, probably overpriced Lamb, considering, but maybe not. I think it's worthy of consider. Let me put it like this. You like Chase Brown better than, or Jamar Chase and then Chase Brown. I, of course, like both of them. I'd say Chase Brown is the safest. Little Jamar Chase has the biggest upside. Then you got CeeDee Lamb hanging out, like with Cooper Rush, but against this terrible Bengals defense, maybe he can get it done. By the way, if Trayvon Diggs is playing or not, it really doesn't matter. It does not matter. That dude's not that good. Like, he's not good enough to stop Jamar Chase or even slow down Jamar Chase. So I don't even care about him. Hudson and Lupke are potential turds. We'll scroll down and we'll look at the turd zone here, but it's just important. We're going to have to play a lot of these turds because, hey, yeah, I want to play Chase and CD and Higgins and all these good plays. Joe Burrow. I want to play all that. But you can't afford it. They're all priced up. It's not like you have these 7K guys. Once you get to the 7K level, we're down to Brandon Cooks, who's a very sketchy play at best at 7K. That's expensive for him. Gesicki, fine. Ferguson at 5,500, okay. Aubrey, overpriced kicker at 5K, but still good. You got Yoshi under 5K, under kicker price. Defenses don't seem great. And then down here, we're in the super turd zone where we're just hoping for miracles. As soon as you get down here, we're just hoping for miracles, right? Some people are going to play Hunter Lupke. Lupke will get in the game. Yeah, Lupke will. The issue with Rico, I like Rico Dowdle, but it's a little spendy. He's up there priced the same as T. Higgins and these wide receivers. So it's not easy. Take out the turd zone. Diggs, I'm not going to listen. Diggs was never. Let's talk about Diggs for a second. Trade it. He was never a shutdown corner. What he was really good at is getting interceptions, jumping. So he's a good cornerback, but he's an aggressive corner that will jump in front of you. In other words, you will get open against this guy. He will take chances. That's why I say with Trey Diggs, he's definitely not I'm not going to play somebody who he's taking on. Yes, could he get an interception? Sure. But I don't care about interceptions. I just care about if the wide receiver scores fantasy points. We're not betting wins and losses here. Yeah, let's take a look at some of the live turds. So I think Hunter Lupke is okay. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, that could happen. That could happen. But we haven't seen that this year anyway. We're talking about Trey Diggs, the cornerback. I'm not even sure he's playing, but if he is, he's not a brand name that's going to scare me away from playing wide receivers against him. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything about the player. I don't know the player. I'm saying he doesn't shut down. His game is interceptions. His game has been interceptions and jumping and batting down passes. So that's fine. That's a great game. I like him on my team, but I'm not going to be scared away from playing wide receivers that might face him. So turd zone, right? We got to pay down. We're not going to be able to make lineups. So we'll get into the top guys. Of course, my favorite, I think, on the slate is Chase Brown. I just think you want the favored running back who is getting 90% of the touches. I like Rico Dowdle as well, but he's the underdog running back. And so, he's got a higher chance of, if we look at these two running backs, which scenario seems more likely? The Bengals up 21-0 and the Cowboys kind of abandoning the run, or the Bengals being down 21-0 to Dallas with the backup quarterback and them abandoning the run. So for me, I think it's more likely that the Bengals take a lead at some point, and it's more likely that, I'm not saying this will happen, but it's more likely to me that Dowdle could get game flowed out of a game like this compared to the other one. But I don't think that's going to happen either. I like them both. I just like Chase a lot more because Chase is just always going to be in there constantly. So there we go. As far as the rest of these guys, captain spot goes, yeah, Jamar Chase. I got to remember to say Jamar or Chase Brown. Jamar, I don't know. I got to remind myself because there's two Chases here. Jamar Chase, clearly the highest ceiling of any player really in the NFL, right? I think we can agree Jamar Chase is right up there with, effectively anybody who you can name as the highest ceiling type of player in the NFL. Who's another? CeeDee Lamb used to be one of those guys. Jefferson, Puka, Nico. Chase, the highest possible ceiling, which means he's always going to be relevant. And this is a spot where he can go off. So sure, why not, right? CeeDee Lamb, I'm not as convinced with him. His projection is, take a look at his projection relative to the other guys. Certainly has the ceiling, but as a standalone play with Cooper Rush at QB, CeeDee Lamb's just not as good of a play. With that being said, the Bengals have no one who could stop him. Joe Burrow, fine. He's had some big scores. I usually take quarterbacks like Burrow. I don't like to play them at captain. Let me just take a quick look here and see what his scores were, and I'll see if I can justify that. So, he's been so good. He's been so good. 32, 36, and 30 in weeks 11, 10, and 9, right? So let's take a look at his wide receivers. Yeah, 10, it was Chase, but 11, Burrow outscored him. 9, Burrow outscored him, right? So let's take a look at T. Higgins. Okay. 11, Higgins outscored Burrow, 32.8. Burrow got 32.04. It was close. T just got there for the nuts. And then in week, I feel like it was Gesicki in this other week. So part of the reason why Burrow scores have been so massive, in week 9. Who got the points in week 9? Maybe it was Gesicki. Maybe it was him. I don't know. Week 9. He got 30 in week. There it is. So in week 9, Gesicki would have been one of the better, if not the better, ones here. So, oh yeah, my man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you just telling the people here what's going on. By the way, if you, I'm sorry to side note this, but if you're not a DFS Army subscriber, what he's talking to, On Saturdays, we have a VIP only stream where we build lineups together. We talk about bankroll management. We talk about DFS strategy. We talk about a lot of stuff that you never hear in other DFS sites. We build lineups together, and we build lineups for multipliers, which, again, just not enough discussion of why those are the best contests to attack in DFS. So, yeah, my man, there it is. 1,800 last night. Fuck yeah, Savage. I love hearing this, my man. Really, you have been crushing it too. Really following the system really well, and I'm super impressed. All right, so back into this. Yeah, Gesicki. So note that my point was, Burrow has a very slim path to being the highest scorer on the slate. Even in these 3 games where he went absolutely bonkers bananas, and he has scored a lot these 3 weeks, 11, 10, and 9. Those are great scores. He's been putting up great scores every week. Just note that it is a slim path for him. So I tend to prefer to use those wide receivers just because, Burrow's going to be high owned. And so if I can kind of avoid one chalky piece like that on these showdowns, as a rule, I think it gives me an edge over time, even if it doesn't necessarily give me a specific edge on this particular slate. So, Burrow's going to have 11% ownership. And if I can fade that, I can make some money. MT, where's the stream? Our streams are, the Players Club stream is posted in the DFS Army Discord and also on the DFS Army website under NFL articles, but it is behind the paywall. So you'd have to be subscribed to DFS Army to be able to access that particular stream. That is an insider stream. We're building lineups. That's for the family. Got to keep it together. Chase Brown, higher ownership, or Jamar? I believe that Chase Brown will be the highest owned player on this entire slate. Let's take a look. Flex ownership. Yeah, Chase is much higher than Jamar. Oh, so MT, if you're already subscribed, if you are not in our Discord, you are making an error. You should be in our Discord. The button up here. Click on that, connect your account, get in the Discord. That's where most of what DFS Army does is taking place. It's in the Discord. Yeah, and this is another thing. That's right. You got to change it up every single week. That's right, my man. Yep, Discord is a must. I don't, guys, you got to be in the fucking Discord. That is 90% of what we're doing in DFS Army. If you want to learn how to be good at DFS, if you want to learn the strategy of DFS, you're not going to figure it out on your own. Other sites leave people to figure it out on their own. That is not what we're about here. We don't do that. We want, oh my God, MT. Bro. Yeah, you got to be in there to win. Everybody's in the Discord, man. We have conversations constantly. We're talking strategy, bankroll management, how to play as a profitable DFS player. This hobby's a lot more fun when you're profitable at it. It's not easy to be profitable, but there are tricks. Doing this for 10 years, yeah. Kanger's in there fucking spoiling every game. His TV is faster than everyone's. So I always know what happens in the game 30 to 40 seconds before it does. Thank you, Kanger, for that. All right, where were we? Yeah, potential captains. So let's talk about some rules based around the captains. If we're playing Chase Brown, if we're playing Jamar or T. Higgins as captain, having Joe Burrow in that lineup is probably a good idea. I'm just thinking of rules. If Rico Dowdle, I wouldn't avoid both of them together. I think if Joe Burrow is my quarterback, regardless of captain or flex, I'm forcing him with 2 pass catchers from his team. One of which could be Chase, not Jamar Chase, Chase Brown. I got to keep reminding myself that that's the same thing. Yeah. Kevin Rivera, upload direct to, I know that exists on other, I don't understand how that technology works. We've never been able to build it, but it's not hard to upload. I upload my stuff. I like doing it, through Google Sheets, just personally. I like doing it through Google Sheets. Is Burrow locking the only way Burrow is not in the flex in my mind is if Chase Brown goes bonkers in this game. Or like the kicker for the Bengals kicks 9 field goals or something ridiculous happens like that. Burrow should definitely be there. Yeah. So those are our captains. I think we just stick with these kind of 5. I think anything beyond CeeDee Lamb at captain is maybe a little bit silly, almost. Like I guess we can make an argument for Brandon Cooks just from the price, but he's not even cheap enough. At 10, he's not even that inexpensive. So I don't like it. Yeah, I have a hard time making an argument for anybody other than this top group here. And if you left Burrow out, I mean, we can almost narrow it down to just a few. Just a few. Lamb's got to be in there too, but yeah, he's very expensive and he needs to put up a monster score. These guys are really, I'm telling you, it's weirdly priced. Too many studs up top, and we have studs that are clearly better than other ones, which makes this an easier kind of cash multiplier build, but maybe a little bit challenging. Oh, I love all the comments are great, guys. Keep them coming. I love this stuff, man. I love to hear new first time coming into DFS Army, understanding what we're about. Listen, the DFS space is small. There's been a couple of different companies that do it, but man, I'm surprised at how little a lot of the sites do in terms of teaching and explaining and sort of bringing around newer people, especially into the fold. Or we don't treat our newer members with disdain here like you might get somewhere else. We're like, yeah, dude, we're here to teach and hopefully we want you to do well. I want you to win money. I want you to keep subscribing. So it's in my financial benefit. I appreciate all these nice words. This only happens on the good weeks, guys. When my picks suck, you guys don't say shit. At least you're not tilting on the rougher weeks. But yeah, we had a pretty good one this week. All right, so where were we? Let's talk about potential turds on the slate to afford, and then we'll build some lineups. Burrow and Rush with 2. Yes. Oh, definitely. Both of these guys are with 2. Rush does not run the football. Yeah. The force rule, is it in legacy? Yes. So let me show you it. Legacy stacking, position, QB. The easiest way, you don't even have to go, is if QB is captain, you can just no less than 2, WRTE, same team. Bam. That's the rule. You could do the same in the flex. Wendy, if you're going to do a kicker captain, and I do not hate that, I don't hate it. I think the better way is Chase Brown. But if you're going to do a kicker, it should probably be Aubrey. I'd do the kicker from Dallas because he's just a stud of a kicker. Like Aubrey is specifically like a weapon kicker, where the other guy is just another NFL kicker. Doesn't mean that Cade York won't kick more field goals in this game. It's just Brandon Aubrey is the man when it comes to kicking field, or he has been in his career. All right. So I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I like to use for the optimizer, but I do switch to the prop space projections. I just like it. I think as much as we've developed our projection model over many, many years, and it's great, I like to see the contrast and also think that prop-based projections are the most accurate possible projection system in existence. So I don't think it's possible to be more accurate than this. Catch me outside if you don't like it. Yeah. So if you need a baseline, kind of a cash lineup, there you go. Looks like you can afford to get 4 studs in there as long as you play Hunter Luepke. And that might be the trick for showdowns and multipliers. It might be the Hunter Luepke loophole, right? He's not even super high owned, but Luepke will play some snaps. And at 400, we only need him to catch 1 or 2 targets, get 6, 4, 5 points, and very possibly the nut at 400. So I think it's Hunter Luepke, but let's go through like the rest of these turds. And it's important to kind of like grasp who has a shot at doing anything. Where is he? Where's Luepke? Okay, there we go. I'm going to sort by salary to make it clear. So who are the potential turds? Hunter Luepke at 400, getting 10% ownership. I think people are going to play Jermaine Burton. He's got a name, and I get it, but he is not getting any kind of snaps. Or rare. Doesn't play a ton. Dixon likes Cook's captain. Yeah, I can see it. He's had big games in his career. Let's see. I think it's not just turd pin, but it's also Yeah, Tanner Hudson, Mingo. These guys are Tolbert and Turdpin. All of this. So we've got Lupke. I'm going to skip all of this. I don't, Brevin, no. And not even Drew Sample. They don't throw to him. He's going to get some ownership. I guess it's okay. But like, all right, acceptable turd. I'll have some in my 150. Tanner Hudson, I'll have some there. But Mingo, a little bit of Mingo just in case, quote unquote, Jerry wants to see what he's got going on or whatever. Turpin. I guess Schoonmaker could be considered turd as well. So that's about it, though. Could play a little Cowboys defense, too. So that's our turd zone. Loopy and Turdpin. Yeah, that's who it is. No Lance Hail Mary. I don't even think Lance. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? By the way, we get the rattlesnake this week in New Orleans. The rattlesnake, it's back. The Rattler. Okay. DraftKings lineup build. So, I think the safest, most comfortable captain is Chase Brown. So I want to see what it looks like to build a lineup around Chase Brown. And I think the Hunter Lupke thing, I'm down with it. I think this $400 play is how you get tons of studs in your lineup. Because I go from here, I could put Fergie in there, right? Let's see what the hell happened to him. Concussion. So Ferguson's off concussion, meaning there is no restrictions. When you're off concussion, you have no restrictions. Full back. And I love me some Fergie. So you put in Ferguson, I'm up to 9,800. And this is where we can just play the rest of our studs. Now, note that Chase, Lamb, and Burrow are all over 1,000. So I can't play all three of them. I can play one pay down and the rest of them. Even T. Higgins doesn't buy me up to these guys. So if I'm playing Chase Brown, who else? So let's say we did Chase Brown. This is a Jamar Chase doesn't go crazy type of lineup. You'd have to build for that. And then, yeah, we can get to Lamb or Burrow here with the last spot. Now, the other way to go is double Chase. Chase. Now, to pull this one off, if I got Brown and Jamar Chase in there, I'm going to take out Dowdle. And yeah, here we'd have to go down to something like Brandon Cooks to make that one work. I like that first one, though, with Higgins and then Burrow and then Dowdle, where we did not play. This is kind of a fun lineup, I think. Chase Brown, Joe Burrow, double stacked with Higgins. Chase. Oh, very important, guys. As I'm doing this, I'm realizing Burrow, Chase Brown should be considered part of the stacks with Burrow. Chase Brown catches enough passes that he is considered a pass catcher, in my opinion. So the Burrow plus 2 stacks, I would include Chase Brown in that. So the way to do that on the domination station, if you're using it, is to add in running back for this. So instead of doing QB no less than 2, I would do first the Cooper Rush, no less than 2, name specific. And then for Burrow, I'm going to include the running back in his rule. And then we do the same thing for flex, by the way, no less than 2. Cooper Rush is flex, no less than 2. I think, Andy, listen. In captain, I never like playing QBs in captain. There's no way I'm playing Cooper Rush as a captain at all. And again, I talked in the beginning a lot about why even though Burrow has been absolutely spectacular, including in games where Jamar Chase has done great. So Burrow has been spectacular the last few games. His pathway to being the nuts captain is very slim. So if you want to fade it, I don't mind that at all. That's what I'm saying. Like, doesn't mean that Burrow won't score 30. I just think if he's scoring 30, there's a really good chance that someone the same or slightly cheaper than him will also score 30 or slightly more, but it's not 100%. It's not 100%. He can definitely get there. He can definitely go off. Oh, on FanDuel, we're going super Burrow. Let me see if I can build another version here. I'd put this one in. I just want to put a couple in here, DraftKings wise, because that last one we did, Jamar Chase. What about if we put Jamar Chase up top? So Jamar Chase, obviously the biggest upside. And if Chase is there, we want Burrow in there too, right? Because Burrow going crazy. And see Chase Brown in here too. So if we do, see, it's just tough. It's almost like they can't all go off together. You play all three of the studs. Again, we got to go back down to Lupke. I just wanted to, again, reminder though, if it's not Lupke, Hudson, Mingo, Tolbert, Turpin, all interesting. Burrow will not need to go off. There you go. Maybe. We'll see. About a Ferguson captain. Yeah. So if you put, I mean, this one again, once you put Lupke in there, I would probably do something like this with Ferguson. I love Fergie. I want to emphasize that I really like Fergie for the slate. Probably do like a Gesicki kind of combo here, something like that could work. Now, if we want to put Fergie as captain, is that a viable captain play? I'm going to say yes, but we would not be playing turds in that version of the lineup. So you put Ferguson in there. Now we're going. The reason Fergie's in there is so we could play kind of all the studs. And it doesn't have to be Jamar Chase. It can be, though, Burrow, Chase, and then we'd go here once again. I forgot about Yoshi also, who is a reasonably I'm not going to play him in this one, but reasonably priced player. We got the kicker here, Aubrey. This one could work with Yoshi, I guess, something like that. It's a little too much from the one team. So what I would do here is then swap out Chase Brown and maybe go with like a CeeDee Lamb or something. Yeah, I'd probably do something like this with a Ferguson at the top kind of approach. Something like that. All right. Let's shift gears, take a quick look at FanDuel. FanDuel is a format that rewards quarterbacks and running backs, right? So if we take a look at FanDuel on the domination station, as an example, you will see that when the field is smart, they like to load up on running backs and quarterbacks in the MVP spot. Let's sort by MVP ownership. And again, it's too low. This should be higher. So it's Burrow, 22%, Chase Brown, 20%, and Jamar Chase and Rico Dowdle and T. And that's about it. Maybe there's some viability. I think you could really get down and dirty on FanDuel. The pricing is wrong. Look how cheap these guys are. Why are they doing this? FanDuel has changed everything. Once again, it kind of makes me want to play this on FanDuel. I don't know. This is really weird. Ownership too low. Too low on Burrow. Too low on Jamar Chase on Chase Brown. And he's too inexpensive. Jamar Chase is too low. It's all too cheap. FanDuel's super easy. Here we go, guys. Come on. Play not Jamar. Play Joe Burrow up top here. Play Chase Brown. Play Rico. This is ridiculous. Where's my kicker? Could play Fergie. And then 12K. Cooper Rush, second quarterback. Get both quarterbacks in. I'm playing this. This is the lineup. That's a great lineup. Bam. Putting it in. Easy money. Duplicate. Right? How would you do it different? Instead of Fergie, Brendan Aubrey. Whoa, 8,500. That is ridiculous. Look how much savings. Can get off of Cooper Rush and go to T. Higgins if you want, but I think Cooper Rush will outscore T. Higgins. Can we get to Jamar Chase? How about instead of Dowdle? No. So if I want to go, yeah, this is such an easy mix and match slate. So easy, guys. Put Gesicki in this one. Where's Fergie? 10K. Ferguson, Chase Brown. Take out Aubrey. Actually, this is a really fun one on FanDuel, guys. Yeah, lots of ways to build here. Can kind of ignore the turds. We can stay in this zone here with kickers and defenses. It is tough, as you can see, to get Burrow, Chase Brown, and Jamar Chase and Ferguson all in the same lineup. But instead, I can really easily just get 2 kickers in here. And I really like that, and I prefer it. So this is how I would do something like this. Or just get rid of Cade York. If we're going to assume that Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Chase Brown are doing all the scoring, then you get rid of that kicker, and you can go another piece from Dallas. Or even something like Bengals defense. Oh, yeah. This is a tournament winner right here, guys. I shouldn't have put that on screen. Tourney winner. Great question, because the turds don't win it on FanDuel. The turds win the tournament on DraftKings. It's just a different format. You don't need those turds on FanDuel. So what does a turd do? Wait, I'll go back to it. I was just showing, this is FanDuel. What does a turd do, right? Backup tight end catches a touchdown pass from the 1 yard line. Oh, turd score, it's over. Or is it? That's still just a 7-point play. Well, if I don't need to go down there because I can fit all the studs because FanDuel made the salaries weirdly low, which is what they did this week, you have to pay attention to what they did with the salaries. What do you see on a normal week? I'm going to tell you what you see. Normally, the top price player could be as high as 17K. And normally, the running backs are the most expensive. Like they should have priced Chase Brown at 16.5. Ricky's needs to put a shirt on. I'm going to say this. If the picture's at the gym, no, if you're at the gym, it's perfectly acceptable to wear that tank top, like at the gym. And if you're heading to your car from the gym and heading straight home, you're rocking that tank top, it's all good, right? But if you're just like out at the supermarket and you didn't just come from the gym, okay? If you're not straight coming from the gym and you're rocking that tank, you can't wear the tank. No, I don't care that you're in Florida, man. The tank top is only for the gym. It's a gym shirt. Although I support women who walk around in yoga pants. I'm cool with that. Shirts don't have sleeves. I'll be in Florida too, Ricky. We're going to hang out. Take me to the gym. I need to be ripped like you if that's your real picture. We'll go to the gym together. All right. That's going to do it for this breakdown, guys. We know the fucking plan. We know the plan. FanDuel, just play Burrow, Chase. You know, most of my FanDuel is going to be Burrow. And then I'm just going to roll in some Chase Brown as well. But it's mostly going to be Burrow up top. Like, bam, he's going to score massive. Put this guy in there. Why not? Can even play Cooper Rush. He's a freaking quarterback. This is the start. And all we're kind of figure out. And then we put the Dallas running back in. I mean, this is just it. This is it. So obvious. And now with the last spot, you pick your last one. Ricky's going to be my personal trainer when I go to Florida now. That's it. We're fucking rip that shit. DS is excluding. Okay. Put York as the kicker. So he should be projected probably at about 8.4. Let me look at his number. I don't know. It should not be excluded for you. Let's see if he's doing that for me. No. So in the flex, I'm getting exposure. Oh, I see why. Get the prop spaced as a 0. He should be at 8.25. I took some roids back in the day, Dix Insider. Don't think. I tried it once. Didn't agree with me. But I was ripped for like that 2-week period. College was a different time. Guys, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna wrap it up here. We got a showdown coming up in a few minutes. So good luck tonight, everybody. Do not put Lupke at captain. Don't do that. I am not setting the ownership slider tonight. I find that is more often than not going to remove you from winning. So I don't like doing that in showdowns. I just don't. So there's that. Again, let's wrap it up here. Good luck tonight. We got a big one coming up. And of course, I'll be back. You be on the channel here. Like, subscribe, notification, all that shit. So you know when I release my first look FanDuel and DraftKings videos, they'll come out tomorrow on Tuesday. And then, of course, Wednesday back for the next Showdown breakdown. Good luck tonight, everybody.